Jenna had always been the bold one in her friend group, the type who laughed at dares and leaned into trouble just to feel alive. Fear wasn't really her thing, so when her friends dared her to drive alone down the abandoned stretch of road locals called Whispering Hollow, she didn't even pause. No backup, no passengers, just her car, and a point to prove. The night was pitch black, no moon in sight. Her headlights were the only thing cutting through the darkness, a thin beam slicing into the unknown like it could fall apart at any second. On both sides of the road, dense woods pressed in close. The trees stood tall and crooked, their branches stretching toward the asphalt like they were trying to grab her car as she flew past. The deeper she went, the quieter the world became. No houses, no streetlights, no cell service, just the low hum of the engine and the wind pushing through the trees, whispering in a way that didn't sound natural. Jenna shook it off, telling herself it was just her nerves messing with her head. Still, she couldn't ignore the feeling creeping into her chest. Whispering Hollow twisted endlessly, sharp curves stacking one after another like the road didn't want her to leave. She'd heard the stories, everyone in town had. People who took this road at night and were never seen again. Cars found abandoned, doors left open, radios still on. Jenna used to roll her eyes at that stuff. Now, not so much. Out of nowhere, the radio crackled. Jenna nearly jumped out of her seat. The radio had been dead silent the entire drive. No signal, no static, nothing. But now a distorted voice leaked through the speakers, low and warped, like it was being dragged through water. She tried to make out the words, but they didn't make sense, broken syllables layered over static. Her heart started pounding hard. She reached over and twisted the dial. Nothing changed. She turned the volume down. The voice stayed the same. That's when she hit the gas. Okay, real funny, she muttered, trying to convince herself this was just some weird interference. I'm not scared. But her hands tightened around the wheel anyway. The road stretched on longer than it should have. Shadows flickered at the edge of her vision, darting between the trees. Once she swore she saw something move across the road, but when she blinked, it was gone. Her pulse thudded in her ears as she rounded another sharp curve. That's when her headlights caught something dead center in the road. Jenna slammed the brakes. Standing there was a girl. She looked young, maybe a teenager. Her clothes were soaked, clinging to her thin frame. Long, dark hair hung over her face, dripping onto the pavement. Slowly, the girl lifted her head. Her eyes were empty, hollow, like they didn't belong to someone alive. Jenna's breath caught in her throat. She remembered the legend, the ghost hitchhiker of Whispering Hollow, a spirit doomed to wander the road, waiting for someone to stop. Against every instinct screaming at her to drive, Jenna cracked her window and whispered, "Hey, are you okay?" The girl didn't answer. Instead, the radio suddenly screamed to life again, and Jenna's blood ran cold the moment the radio said her name. Her foot hovered over the gas pedal, every instinct screaming at her to floor it, but her body felt locked in place. The girl outside the car took another slow step forward. Water dripped from her hair onto the road, even though it hadn't rained in days. Jenna noticed that detail and hated herself for noticing it, because it made the whole thing feel way too real. "Okay, nope," Jenna muttered, "not doing this." She reached for the door lock, even though she knew it was already locked. The girl stopped just inches from the hood now. Her face was still half hidden, but Jenna could see her lips move. "Can you take me home?" The voice didn't come from outside. It came from the radio. Jenna screamed and punched the gas. The tires squealed as the car shot forward, blowing straight through where the girl had been standing. Jenna flinched, waiting for the impact, for the sickening thud. Nothing. She glanced in the rearview mirror. The road behind her was empty. Her heart was going absolutely nuts, hammering like it was trying to break out of her chest. "I'm done," she said out loud, her voice shaking. "I'm so done." She didn't slow down. The speedometer climbed higher as Whispering Hollow blurred around her. The trees felt closer now, leaning inward like the road was closing in on her. The radio kept whispering, static layered with voices, overlapping, desperate. Some were begging. Some were crying. Some were angry. Then one voice cut through them all. "You missed your turn." Jenna shook her head violently. "Shut up, just shut up." She spotted a road sign ahead and felt a flash of relief until she read it. The sign was rusted and crooked, barely readable in the headlights. Whispering Hollow, 1 mile. Her stomach dropped. "That's not possible," she whispered. She had already been on this road for way longer than a mile. She should have been out by now. There was supposed to be a gas station at the end, lights, people. Instead, the road stretched on like a bad loop she couldn't escape. Her phone buzzed. Jenna nearly dropped it when she saw the screen light up. No service bars, but somehow she had a voicemail notification. She didn't remember getting a call. Hands trembling, she hit play. Her own voice came through the speaker, shaky and panicked. "I think I messed up. I shouldn't have come here. If anyone hears this, don't take this road. Please." The voicemail cut off abruptly, replaced with static. Jenna stared at the phone like it had betrayed her. "That's not real," she said, even though deep down she knew it was. "That hasn't happened yet." The headlights flickered. No, don't do this," she begged, tapping the dashboard like that might help. The engine sputtered, engine coughing like it was choking. The radio volume surged on its own, blasting a chorus of voices now, all talking over each other. Then the engine died. The car rolled to a slow, miserable stop in the middle of the road. Silence fell heavy and thick. Jenna sat frozen, barely breathing. The woods were dead quiet. No wind, no insects, nothing. She reached for the door handle, then hesitated. Getting out felt like the worst possible move. That's when she heard footsteps. Slow, wet, crunching against the gravel. Her headlights flicked back on for just a second. The girl was standing in front of the car again. But she wasn't alone. Shapes emerged from the darkness behind her. Men, women, even kids. Some looked injured, some soaked, some burned, some barely looked human at all. Their eyes all shared the same empty stare. Jenna realized the truth all at once. These weren't ghosts haunting the road. The road was trapping them. The girl stepped closer, placing her hand on the hood. This time, her face was fully visible. She looked sad, not angry. Tired, like someone who had been waiting a long, long time. "You don't leave Whispering Hollow," the girl said softly. This time, with her own voice. "You just replace someone." Jenna backed away, pressing herself into the seat. "I don't belong here," she said, tears spilling down her face. "I'm just passing through." The girl tilted her head. "So were we." The radio crackled one last time. A calm, almost friendly voice came through. "Thank you for stopping." The headlights went out. No one knows what really happened to Jenna that night. Her car was found days later, parked neatly on the side of Whispering Hollow Road. Doors unlocked, engine cold, phone still inside.
Locals swear that if you drive that road late enough, when the moon is gone and the air feels wrong, you might see a girl standing in the dark waving someone down. And if you listen closely to the radio, you might hear Jenna's voice warning you to turn back, right before the signal cuts out. But the scariest part? Some drivers claim the voice doesn't warn them anymore. It dares them to keep going.